Great, thanks, Dan Roger. Yeah, so here we are at consciousness. So my background is that, well, as well as teaching at the Manchester Buddhist Centre, I kind of been working on a book for the last 17 years called Mindfulness, the Undiscovered Foundations. So last year I did loads and loads of videos on YouTube and Facebook, you know, kind of bringing some of these ideas out, but they're not really in the public domain all that much. So one of the things that that I kind of realized really about, in a way, about consciousness. What's consciousness? Well, Buddhism doesn't really have, nothing's fixed. All we've got is like is what we bring awareness to or not, you know. So what we bring awareness to in Buddhism is called the Four Foundations of Mindfulness. So we bring awareness to body, to feeling, which is pleasant and painful experience, to the mind, which is emotions, attention, thoughts, all that sort of stuff, all the active side of things, and then to our views, you know, the way that we look at things. So these four things are called the Four Foundations of Mindfulness, and they're interconnected. So it's not just that we're interconnected with other people, we're interconnected within ourselves. So what we do in our body has an effect on our mind, you know, on our attention, on our emotions, you know, the way we think about things has an effect on our emotions. It's just all interconnected. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the area where the body conditions the mind. Body conditions the mind. So, in a way, we could say that this is what's generally known as meditation posture, but there's a different way of seeing meditation posture, which is like everything that you do with your body that actually supports you to bring happiness into the world and not suffering. So if you have a cold shower in the morning, hot and cold shower, and then that brings you alive, then that is supportive, isn't it? So you're doing things during the day, your energy doesn't dip, you know, and fall away, and then you can't do anything with life, you know. So it's really important that the body is there to support us in meditation. So what I normally do is a bit of body work at the beginning of a meditation. And I'm not quite set up for that, but I think we'll do some seated body work. And then I'll lead us in what I call a grounding meditation, which is just systematically bringing awareness to our situation. You know, what is our situation? So our situation is that we're alive, we're a human being, we exist in time and space. So gradually bringing that into awareness. We have a body, and that body has a particular structure to it. So we've got bones in particular places, muscles in particular places. So we kind of let our body just sit there, and we just we let it support us rather than think we have to support it, you know, hold it up. You know, it's what we're all doing all the time, isn't it? Our mind is leading everything. Well, we need to let our body support us. And then if we can do that and be balanced in meditation, then it's easy, you know, we're supported, you know, with our body supporting us, and we can turn our attention to whatever we want to, you know. So this is the basic kind of background ideas for today. And tonight I'm going to go into all this in a bit more detail, the way in which these different elements of ourselves condition each other. So basically what Buddhism isn't about any theory or philosophy. It's essentially about what working with what brings happiness and what gets rid of suffering. So we can bring, if we bring awareness to the Four Foundations, then we turn them from being sources of suffering to being sources of happiness, and that's a direct path to nirvana. That's why they call that. So yeah, so this is the background we're going to look into tonight. So we'll begin by actually, I think we'll try and stand up, and it'll reveal me props behind me. So if you want to stand up, I have to kneel down. Okay. So let's begin by just drumming with your fingers on the top of your head. Just be aware of your feet touching the ground. Be aware of your clothing touching your skin. Anything you can hear outside, the birds outside. So often when we're doing anything with the body, it takes time, it takes time for the body to kind of, us to arrive into the body and bodily sensations. Okay, shake your hands and feet out. Rub your hands together. Okay, now just cradle your forehead in the palms of your hands. And it's like kind of curving your spine over a little bit. And just have a sense of, you're just turning away from the world. You're not kind of needing to respond to the world. And just enjoying just having your head held in your hands. Just turning inward, away from having to respond to anything. Just let your thoughts just become quieter. Take a few deeper breaths. And then just give your face a bit of a wash with your hands. And it's fine to either do this or not do it. It's up to you. You take responsibility for your own body and what happens with it. Okay, rub your hands together. And then just cup your elbow into one hand and then go over the top. Just try to get onto the top of your spine and just wake it up. So again, we have to kind of work against any sense of embarrassment, or we're trying to look at things from the body's point of view. What does the body really want? So it might want you to hit yourself about twice as hard or 3 times as hard, and then when you sit down to meditate, there's actually some energy there in your body. Again, just be patient, just taking your time. Then other side. Then your chest. Okay, do a bit of Dharma Bandhu, lion, Tai Chi. Down the sides of your body. And down your arm, your left arm. And onto the back of your hand. Just make it a bit painful. So that, your hands wakes up. And palms of your hands. up the inside, and the other side. Okay, just circling on your stomach. And then lightly drumming on your kidneys at the back. And then on your buttocks more heavily. To your legs. And down your legs as far as you can go. And just shake everything out. Okay. And then that's the stimulating bit. So now we're just going to do a little bit of Qigong. So just put your hands on your stomach. And wait for your breath to calm down. And then when you notice that you're breathing out, bend your knees. And then when you're breathing in, straighten your knees. So it's just simple. Just put your thoughts to one side and just bend your knees as you breathe out. Straighten your knees as you breathe in. Down on the out breath. Coming up on the in breath. Down on the out breath. Then put your hands out the front, bring them up onto your chin on the in breath, turning at the chin, down on the out breath. Turning at the hips, up on the in breath, down on the out breath. Next time, just go past your chin, up into the air, and out to the sides. Open your chest, and down to the up again, up the middle. And up again. Last one, a bit slower. And then just mindfully moving into your meditation posture. Try to have a sense of keeping your mind and body together in the same place. So it's not like your mind's going off ahead of your body or your body's ahead of your mind. The two are together. So tuning into the energy in your body. Any sensation that's there in your body. And just having a sense of just let your body just sit there. You know, you don't, it knows how to sit down. That's a good thought. Your body knows how to sit down. It doesn't need any help from your mind to do that. It doesn't need your mind to be in control. In fact, your mind needs to not be in control. So just let your body sit there. All you need to do is balance your spine so that your weight goes down as directly as it can into the ground. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring, gradually, systematically bring awareness to our situations. So what is our situation? Well, first of all, you know, we exist in time and space. So it's having a sense of the dimension of time in your life. So just kind of trying to become aware. Just let it dawn on you that you've had all these moments of experience in the past. And if your mind's a bit busy, maybe just imagine just putting your thoughts into another room or something, or the other side of the room, while you do this exercise, while you just be aware of time. And just being patient as well. It's like sometimes things take time. Time is a healer. You just have to give things enough time in meditation for them to dawn on us, for things to arrive. Just waiting for yourself to arrive into this awareness of time, of your past. If you start to feel distracted, just come back to your body, energy in your body, making sure you just let your body sit there, you're just balancing your spine. And then just becoming aware of, it's also the case that we've got a future, hopefully. Just being aware of all the moments that you're going to experience in the future. So this is all we're doing at the moment, just being aware of time. Aware of how much time that there is in life. And what else is the case? Well, it's also the case that we exist in a particular moment in time, which is the present moment. And this is where our experience is actually happening. So again, just let it dawn on you that this is where you are right now, this in the present moment. Just wait for that to dawn on you, wait for that to become apparent. If you're struggling, just come back to your body, to your posture. to the energy in your body, to your balance. But it's also the case that we exist in space. So we're sitting on a huge, great ball of matter called the Earth. And above our head is the atmosphere, which is about 10 miles thick. And then beyond the atmosphere is this enormous space, vast empty space, where every now and then there might be a star or galaxy or objects like planet, but not very often at all. Really, really large distances between everything. And then the Earth is covered in oceans and forests, ice caps, cities, deserts, farmland. And you're at a particular, very particular place on the Earth. So can you just let it dawn on you, become apparent to you exactly where you are on the Earth? So just arriving into an awareness of space and your place in it. And then it's also the case that you have a body, and that body is a physical object in the physical world. And it's got a particular structure to it. So your body's got bones to support your weight, muscles to move your body about, and organs to keep it alive. So can you tune into where the bones are in your body, where the muscles are, where the organs are? So if you're just letting your body just sit there, all you need to do is just make sure that you're balanced, your bones are balanced so that the weight goes down through your skeleton into the ground. So your mind is aligned with the structure of your body, the reality of your body. It's not dealing with something imaginary, you know, how you'd like to be. It's dealing with how you actually are. So if your muscles feel confident that they will be supported by the bones of your body, they'll be able to let go. So relaxation is just that. It's like unfurling a fist. So if you just balance, if you can just balance your body, balance the skeleton of your body so that your weight goes down directly into whatever you're sitting on, into the ground. And then you just unfurl any tension, just like unfurling a fist. Maybe beginning with the crown of your head, Being aware of the flesh of your scalp, on your skull. Imagining that the flesh on your scalp is just becoming a bit looser. Doesn't need to be kind of holding it on. Imagine space appearing between your skull and your scalp. Being aware of the roundness of your head. Just imagine that the flesh is just lifting off very, very slightly all around your face, the back of your neck. So often our body is responding to our mental states, and if we feel, tension comes about through our mind, but if we just forget about our mind, just work with our body, can you just let everything become loose? Imagining that that your eyes are becoming kind of looser in the sockets, round in the sockets, letting go in the jaw, across the shoulders. Just have a sense that if we can keep our body balanced, then we can just gradually become more and more relaxed through the meditation. Just working systematically on letting go. So letting go in the chest and down the sides, in the hips and the legs, face, hands and the feet. And as you let go more, maybe you can have a sense that your mind and emotions, which don't need to be involved with your body at all, because the body is supporting them, can just be starting to feel a sense of reassurance from this body that's there underneath them. That there are some things that the mind can rely on. The mind often gets anxious because it thinks, there's nothing I can depend on. There's actually, if we work in this way with our body, the mind can depend on the body for reassurance. The emotions can depend on the body for reassurance. Just a sense of touch can give us a sense of reassurance. Just imagine a time when you felt a bit anxious or upset, and then a friend just put their hand on your shoulder. And that touch of the hand just gave you a sense of reassurance. Or maybe pick a point in the center of your body, somewhere in your chest. And just imagine that all the points around that point are like that hand. They're just giving that point a sense of reassurance. That's how we get reassurance, through touch, through confidence that there's something we can rely on. And just imagine that process is happening throughout the whole of your body, every point in your body. Every point in your body is getting a sense of reassurance from the touch of all the points around it. And just imagine that you're shedding tension all the time. That tension's just falling away towards the ground. It's being absorbed into the ground, and it almost becomes like you're sitting on it. Nothing to worry about at all. So now, just for the last 5 minutes, we're just going to rest your attention on your breath. Being aware of the sensations in your body as the air touches your body, your clothing. And just receiving the experience of your breath into a soft awareness. Not assuming what's going to happen next. Each moment is new. Get distracted. Just rebuild everything from scratch. Just come back to your body. Being aware of time, space, structure of your body, balance, letting go. Reassurance. Awareness. So in your own time, just bringing meditation to a close. So we've got time for a bit of question answers, discussion type thing. Did anyone struggle with that? Or have anyone got any questions or reflections? Just can you unmute yourselves? I don't know if you can.
Yeah, if anyone has questions, they can unmute themselves. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Maggie from the Norwich Buddhist Centre.
Hi, Maggie.
Hello. Yes, I found that very very satisfying, and I enjoyed the activation of the body beforehand. I thought that was quite a good introduction. The thing that occurs to me is that when I listen to a led meditation, I seem to get taken much deeper. But when I do meditations on my own, I find it much harder to, I suppose it's stopping my mind interfering. I suppose that's just a question of just practice and time and just letting things be as they are.
Well, no, that's completely natural that that happens, because when you're being led through something, it's like you're being given instructions, aren't you? Kind of. So you got somebody over here who's going, it's actually guiding you, and in a structured way, So I think I often find it's easier to meditate when I'm actually leading something, So yeah, no, that's completely natural. Yeah. So, but I suppose you need to internalize, like how, the method of doing it, and I mean, one of the main things, we talk about mindfulness a lot, but the Buddha talked about two things really. Mindfulness is sati, and sampajanya always goes with mindfulness. It's clear comprehension. So it's like having a clear idea of what you're doing, and the structure of how things work. I think if you have that, then it's a lot easier to just apply it. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you need to have, so you get that clear comprehension often from somebody who's leading a meditation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So did you have a sense of this thing where, the body supports the mind, or the body is a positive condition for the mind?
That I have, that was an interesting perspective, and it reminded me of the earth touching mudra of the Buddha. That grounding thing, that everything is okay. Yeah, so that, yes.
Yeah. It's a great example of that, because that's what we're doing. We're touching the reality of what's the case. We exist in time and space, and we've got this body and it's got a structure to it, and we're working with that. And then when we go off piste and we start to think our mind can just cope with everything, then it doesn't really work, because we're not dealing with the reality, which is that we've got this body there all the time that's having an effect on us, and it's having a massive effect, so to be able to learn to deal with it is just really important. And so this thing about meditation posture, a broader idea of meditation posture, and I did have a hot and cold shower this morning, and it just really helps. I know Abs was talking the other day about, Abs is here today, she's not, but she was talking about swimming in the sea and all that year round, and so things like that, and Sthira Prabhu does that as well. So it's just really important to take that seriously, like, what's the vitality like in our body, because if we're serious as Buddhists, we want to actually be having an effect on the world, not just kind of do a bit of meditation then but go back to bed. We need to be actually having some tangible effect on the world. That's one great thing about Buddhafield. People are in touch with the elements, and get cold, get wet, but it just really helps us to keep alive. Any other thoughts? Just pipe up.
Hi there.
Hiya. Hi, Kate. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I love that sort of embodiment of the posture being quite zen, or
You're breaking up a bit.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me at all?
That's better. Yeah, if you go close.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. You mentioned something during the meditation. I really enjoyed it. About the face and our skin lifting off or something.
Yeah.
Because I really, really, really conscious of tension on my skin.
Yeah.
So relaxing that is really interesting. And then when you said that, it was like, whoa, I hadn't. Can you say a bit more about that?
Yeah, I could. Yeah. Well, I've been quite influenced by the Alexander technique. Both Paramananda used to teach it way back when I first learned meditation, and I think it's really helpful actually, because what you're doing there is you're imagining things, but inhibiting yourself from doing anything about it. So in Alexander technique, you imagine that the joint at the top of your spine is free to move. That's the most important joint in your body, so you imagine that's free to move, so your head can lift up towards the sky, and your neck can release and back can lengthen and widen. But you send a suggestion, but then you don't do anything about it, because when in the doing, trying to do relaxation is counterproductive, because you tense up in readiness to do. But what you needed to do is just send suggestions, that your head is round, and you've got your flesh is lifting off, and you've got this spaciousness here and space in all your joints, and your limbs are becoming longer, because a long muscle can't be a tense muscle, that sort of thing. So you just kind of, if you're interested, like, try and kind of teach people who teach Alexander technique type meditations, and they'll lead you through things like that, where you're just lengthening everything, and it's just a way of suggesting to your body something that it might do, but what often happens is our mind just gets frustrated, and that frustration leads conditions tension in the body. It's a direct relationship, you know. So the more frustrated you become about not being relaxed, the less relaxed you become, you know. So it's yeah, you need to forget about like being in charge of having your mind, and just like work with these kind of suggestions, and gentle, just work with. You've got to always be tuning into your body and what's actually working and what isn't, you know. So it doesn't really help to go into automatic pilot and think, oh, when you're doing body work, to just go through the motions of it. You've got to be like keeping your mind and your body in the same place, so that you're actually observing when you do one thing, what's the effect? When you do something else, what's the effect? You know, through your meditation, don't switch off and think go into automatic. You've got to be always thinking, what do I need to do now? You know, what's the next thing that needs to happen? And you know, and sometimes we have to just be direct with our body and just work on our body, and have a massage or have a salt bath or have a cold shower, and just, you know, do the thing with it that our body needs, and then come back, you know. But so many people just think, oh, I can just sit down to meditate, and that it's a form of arrogance, you know. I can just sit down to meditate and I'm the master of everything and all that, you know. I'm the master of my body, and bloody nonsense, you know. It's like your body's just there, and you have to treat it in a way where it's going to function well, with treating it with the respect it deserves and that sort of thing, you know. So anyway, a bit of a rant there, but does that any help? Any other thoughts? Oh. Joe?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like I found recently, like my mind has been so loud in meditation, and this is like the quietest my mind has been in meditation for ages and ages and ages. So I really appreciated the way that you phrase certain things. It just felt like it really, yeah, like really spoke to me. And particularly there was something that you said, like that really simple, something just like you leave the mind alone or something like that, like let the mind be. And I was like, oh, and then I was just completely in my body. It was really, I could really appreciate that meditation. It was really great. Thank you so much.
I think that idea that you know, if your mind and emotions are involved with your meditation posture, you've already lost, you know, because they're not being supported. They're having to do something, you know. So if you can just kind of let your body just sit there, and this is all that, you know, Buddhism, the central teaching in Buddhism is conditionality, which is saying that everything arises in dependence on conditions. And so things naturally happen when you put the conditions in place. So if you just let your body just sit there and balance your spine, then naturally what happens is like you start to feel better, because you're not having to be involved. Your mind and emotion have to be involved with stuff, you know. They could just feel supported, you know, and then they're free to engage with whatever the subject of the meditation is, you know. But instead what people do is they get into a struggle, you know, like I can't do this and blah blah blah, you know. Well, you're in the wrong place, you know. You need to be just letting your body support you, and that's the place you need. That is what touching the earth is about, you know. Often it's like, that's the reality. You've got this body, you got to work with it, you know, and let it support you and things. So yeah. But I love that when I thought of it, that your mind and emotions don't need to be involved. Yeah, oh phew, what a relief.
Yeah, it really was that feeling of just like, oh yeah, it's okay, isn't it? It's like a relaxing into it and like letting go of that struggle. Yeah. Did anyone struggle at all in that meditation? Just, do you want to talk about that if you want? Okay, so you know, that meditation we did, I call it a grounding meditation, because in a way it's the basis of all meditation. You know, it's like, if we can do that, if we're going to be able to just sit there, let our body support us,
get with an increasing sense of relaxation and spaciousness, then we can then choose what meditation we want to go to from there, you know. So from there we can then do mindfulness of breathing, you know, if we want to develop some sharpen our attention, you know, we can do the metta bhavana if we want to work on our emotions towards ourselves and others, or we can do reflection practice if we want to think about the way things are, you know. So yeah, that's the, you know, that's why I introduced this morning. So so tomorrow I'm going to go into I've got this blue sky here behind me, you know. It's my favorite color, that. Yeah, so blue sky. So blue sky in Buddhism represents, in a way, it's a symbol for the truth of conditionality, the way things are. The fact that when you've got a sky, things appear in the sky, don't they? Then they disappear back into the sky. So, you know, clouds appear and then disappear. So things appear out of the blue sky in dependence on conditions, and then disappear back into the blue sky when those conditions aren't there. So what we're going to be looking at a little bit is that, you know, and I think it could just be really helpful to have a symbol that we can engage with, that's attractive to our emotions, you know, that can help us like work with you know, how things are. So anyway, so that's just a little bit tomorrow. So we'll try and build on today, what we've been talking about today. We'll do more of what we did today tomorrow, but we'll kind of build on it a little bit. And then tonight I've got this talk at 7:30 to 8:30. So hope you have a nice day, and shall we kind of leave it there for this morning? So, yeah, thanks for turning up. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mahabodhi. And just to remind everybody, at the 10 o'clock yoga, if you're interested, and then you talk later tonight at 7:30. Yeah, and if people are happy to give a little more financially, there's chuffed.org/project/Buddhafield.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks again, Mahabodhi. That was great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Mute.
Thank you
Goodbye,
very
everyone.
much. Bye. Go well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, my buddy.
Bye.
Thanks, Don Roger.
Okay.